This episode is brought to you by the Kirtland Partnership Committee. For 30 years, we've been dedicated to supporting, growing, and preserving the Kirtland National Security Complex. We work tirelessly to enhance military readiness, foster community partnerships, improve quality of life, and promote economic development right here in New Mexico. Join us in our mission to ensure that Kirtland remains a cornerstone of national security and a key provider of quality jobs and investment for all of Greater Albuquerque. Together, we can make a powerful impact. Kirtland Partnership Committee, proudly shaping the future of our national security for 30 years.
From the Albuquerque Journal, this is the leading news. I'm Gino Gutierrez. It's Tuesday, July 29th. Here's what we're covering on today's episode. The family of 14-year-old Michael Lamont, who was fatally shot on the University of New Mexico's campus early on Friday, is alleging that UNM police failed to respond in a timely and appropriate manner to his mom's urgent reports. According to an Albuquerque-based law firm, Rostin Donatelli, the boy's mother, Mrs. Lamont, contacted campus police early that morning to report her concerns, but hours passed before officers investigated the dorm room where her son's body was eventually found. The family also claims she learned of her son's death through the media rather than from authorities, despite being present on campus, awaiting updates. The law firm criticized both UNM and campus police for what it called a lack of urgency, especially given the nature of a possible active shooter situation on a campus with around 400 freshmen attending orientation and staying in the dorms. UNM has not officially responded to these allegations, although University President Garnet Stokes issued a statement expressing grief and thanking the community for its patience during this unfolding situation. Michael Lamont, a Rio Rancho student, was allegedly killed by 18-year-old John Patrick Fuentes of Los Lunas, who prosecutors say shot him in the head during a gathering to play video games at a dorm room in Casa del Rio. Fuentes also allegedly shot an injured 19-year-old Daniel Archuleta and threatened the third witness. Police tracked Fuentes using license plate readers and arrested him later that day during a traffic stop. He remains in custody at the Metropolitan Detention Center with a detention hearing scheduled for Thursday. According to court records, security footage showed Fuentes arriving at UNM around 8 p.m. on Thursday. The shooting was later detected by a gunshot detection system and confirmed by broken windows and blood found on a nearby rooftop. Authorities ultimately discovered Lamont's body after another student had arrived at the hospital with a gunshot wound around 2:30 a.m. on Friday. While the Lamont family expressed deep frustration with UNM's response, they did thank New Mexico State Police for the swift arrest of the suspect. Albuquerque's Safe Outdoor Spaces program was launched with the goal of allowing private property owners, such as churches, businesses, and community members, to offer sanctioned places to camp for people experiencing homelessness. But since its creation 3 years ago, only one site, New Creation Church on Zuni, has been approved. Others have been denied or withdrawn, largely due to costly and burdensome city regulations. At a Monday news conference, Mayor Tim Keller acknowledged that the program has been, quote, overregulated to the point of dysfunction. He's now supporting a set of amendments introduced by City Councilor Nicole Rogers that aim to cut the red tape and make participation more feasible for property owners.
Fortunately, the regulations are so strict and harsh, they basically made it so that no one wants to do it or can do it. And that's what we're going to hear from them, their story on that. But just by way of background, we're working with Councilor Nicole Rogers to revisit that and just make some tweaks that make this so much more doable for the host entity, typically a church or a nonprofit. And so that's what we're doing this fall.
Current city law requires safe outdoor spaces to provide 24-hour staffing and extensive social services, which most applicants cannot afford. Pastor Jesse Harden of the New Creation Church pointed out that round-the-clock staffing alone costs $100,000 annually, pricing out nearly everyone. Business owner Gillum Curley, whose used bookstore has become an informal encampment site, said he couldn't comply with the current rules and chose to pay a $1,500 fine rather than clear the site. He argued it's unfair to expect small operators to also act as full-scale service providers.
There is more that should be done to relax the requirements. It does have some other provisions that are very good that really allow some of the social service programs to be off-site, to be outsourced to other groups. I think that someone who's simply providing a place for people to camp shouldn't be required to be a complete wraparound social services provider. And so the amendment does relax that a bit. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see more.
The new proposed amendment would reduce staffing to weekday business hours with someone on call after hours and require safe spaces to offer at least 3 support services such as peer support, housing referrals, or education rather than a full suite of wraparound care. The policy shift comes amid rising federal pressure, with President Trump recently issuing an executive order that urges cities to shut down homeless encampments, institutionalize unhoused people via civil commitment, and cut funding for harm reduction and safe space programs, all moves that contradict Albuquerque's more compassionate, housing-focused approach. After historic floods hit Ruidoso earlier this month, which swelled the Rio Ruidoso to a record 20 feet, killed 3 people, and damaged or destroyed nearly 400 homes, residents like Gary Garland are left facing tens of thousands of dollars in damage with no flood insurance. Garland, like many in the area, lost appliances, furniture, and the lower levels of 2 properties and now plans to rebuild them himself. He's not alone, though. An estimated 96% of U.S. homeowners lack flood insurance, according to FEMA, because it's not included in standard policies, can be cost prohibitive, and simply is overlooked, especially in rural areas like Lincoln County, where the median income is significantly below the state average. The federal government did declare the floods a major disaster, but many victims will see little federal relief without insurance. Ruidoso's flooding was worsened by the 2024 wildfire burn scars, which left the ground unable to absorb rainfall, creating conditions ripe for flash floods. Experts say climate change is fueling more intense storms and flash flooding across the U.S. and the world, which is leading to more widespread destruction. Flood coverage through FEMA's National Flood Insurance Program is available even in high-risk areas, but is also expensive, often $1,000 to $4,000 per year, and is limited to $250,000 in structural coverage. For many in Lincoln County, that's simply not affordable. As of now, less than 2% of homes in the area are insured through this program. Adding to the issue, most homes in the region are owner-occupied and mortgage-free, meaning there's no lender to require flood insurance. Many, like Garland, were dropped from private insurance plans after recent wildfires and now rely on New Mexico's FAIR plan, which does not include flood coverage. Despite the losses, the Ruidoso community is rallying. Garland said volunteers have come from nearby towns to help clean up the mud and debris left behind. Business leaders in Doña Ana County are voicing frustration over the Trump administration's volatile tariff policies, which they say are rising costs, delaying investments, and threatening jobs. At the Picacho Coffee Roasters in Las Cruces, owner Chad Morris told gubernatorial candidate Deb Haaland that rising import prices for coffee beans are hurting small roasters like him. In Santa Teresa, Representative Gabe Vasquez held a closed-door meeting with manufacturers who are concerned about unpredictable tariffs and lost opportunities, such as the Polish electric bus company pulling out of a major investment. While state leaders promise support, they acknowledge that trade policy is federally controlled. Vasquez has introduced bipartisan legislation to stabilize border trade and shift more tariff authority to Congress, warning that uncertainty will stall growth and in turn cost New Mexico jobs. And in sports news, Own It, a youth basketball program founded in 2023 by Donovan Barney in Albuquerque, is making major strides in empowering Native American girls through elite athletic development. Focused on supporting players mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, the program recently took 3 teams to the Native American Junior Nationals in Mesa, Arizona, the world's largest indigenous basketball tournament. The 5th and 6th grade team overcame early losses to win the Platinum Division National Championship, with Aisha Barney, Donovan's daughter, named MVP after sparking a comeback in the final. One of the 7th and 8th grade teams also placed runner-up. Donovan and assistant coach Kyle Parisian emphasized the program's role in fostering growth, teamwork, and cultural pride. As Own It expands, its players are gaining exposure on national platforms like Nike and Adidas Circus, representing not just their teams, but their communities across Indian country. The Leading News is powered by the journalism of the Albuquerque Journal. If you enjoy hearing all of the stories we share with you here daily, please consider becoming a digital subscriber to the Journal by utilizing the discount code in our show notes. Every subscription helps support local journalism and allows us to provide you with the news that matters to you. Now taking a look at Albuquerque's weather forecast, scattered showers and thunderstorms are expected today, mainly after 3 p.m., partly sunny with a high near 90. As for this evening, scattered showers and thunderstorms are expected before midnight, mostly cloudy, with a low around 67. To keep up with all the latest news from the Albuquerque Journal, you can visit our website at abqjournal.com. That's the Leading News. I'm Gino Gutierrez. We'll be back tomorrow.